Hey all, Andy here, helping you build a career you love on a sunny Thursday. Great to have you for my regularly scheduled live office hours session. If you're here with me live, get in the chat, say hello, let me know where you're from, what you need, what you do. Put some question marks in front of your questions. If you're in any of my programs, let me know that too using your hashtags, like if you're a boot camper or a leader, or maybe you're in my resume program. Doesn't matter, just love having you, whoever you are. And I want to say a quick hello. I have a little bit of a pep talk. Then we're going to round out the hour with a bunch of Q&A. But I do always love to say hello. Just a very quick hello. Mom was in the house. The LaCivita's got a huge weekend planned. We got a wedding. I got my brother and sisters in from out of town. This is going to be so great. Excited to see the family. Hope, well, you guys are like family to me too. Adam Stark, Mohit, Shelley. Great to see you. Who else is in the house? Julie, Perez, Ali, what's up? Word Dog, Toronto, Michael Moore, Stephen Green, Gowrie, great to see you. From Chicago, Jason, DeBelka, Cherry, my baby girl, Gary, Nico, Carmelo, and everybody else. Great to have you. Okay, today I want to talk with you about something. It's really just more of an inspirational message, and it's something that's been on my mind a lot lately. It's been coming up a lot in my coaching sessions. I felt compelled to tell you or share this with you in hopes that it will get you over the hump, whatever that hump might be. But if I had to give this a title, I might say the one step you need to take in order to max out your success. But it could also be titled "How I Hope You Look at Stuff So You Don't Settle." Just you pick your title, but go with me on this. I've got a 15-second version, and I've probably got a 10 to 15-minute version. I'm going to give you the latter so hopefully you make sense out of the 15-second version. But sometimes, all these how-tos that we do, and step 1 and step 2 and step 3, sometimes I just want to have a conversation with you, and I want to do that today. And so I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I know a lot of you probably know, and if you don't, I'm literally wrapping up this week the manuscript for my 4th book, and it's a career development book. It's going to give you a whole framework, a bunch of lessons, help you build a plan for how you can navigate your career. Doesn't matter what your profession is, but if you want to become the best of the best, this book will help you do that. And I basically wrapped it up on Monday morning, and then I went right into 3 coaching sessions, like boom, 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 right in a row. I don't normally do that. It was kind of an odd schedule, but that's the way it had happened to shake out. And I was thinking about it as I was writing, and in different words, I probably shared the same sentiment with the 3 people I spoke to, all who were in precarious positions. That's what people, right? I mean, you would expect that. No one calls me and has a coaching session to tell me everything in their life is great. They need help. And so I was sharing this with them, and I was thinking about it, and I wanted to bring it to you. And so each morning for the last 5 months, I get up and I write. That's the first thing that I do in the morning. Generally now, it's a bit of an uncommon schedule for me because I'm writing a book, which changes some of the things I normally do in my morning routine. But I don't just get up and then sit down and start writing. The first thing that I do before I actually write is I spend a few minutes, sometimes 2, sometimes 5, sometimes longer, depending on what I'm writing in the book. And I think about who's going to read this book. And I guess that's a pretty good tip for any of you that are putting together a presentation or writing a white paper or a blog post or a social media message or whatever it is that you're doing. Thinking about who you're writing it for. And I think about the 22-year-old who's graduating college and has loads of intention and aspiration, but doesn't really have the formula or isn't directed in how to develop their professional life. Or maybe the 50-year-old, the person who's got, kind of more tread on their tires, and really just kind of needs to get back on track. You don't go that long, 30 years in your career, without kind of swaying along the highway. You sort of need your alignment, put back in place. Or maybe there's the 38-year-old who's at that fork in the road in their career, and they're trying to figure out, should I go? Should I stay? Can I make the best of it? And I think about these people, And I mean, I obsess over these people. I think about them just like I think about you when I come to a live show, whether I've had a coaching session with you, or I just know your YouTube handle, or I see it in the chat, or maybe you've sent me an email, or maybe you haven't even communicated with me at all, but I know you're there. I have faith you're there, and I think about you. And then I think about how it's going to be used. And I think when you strip everything down, there's really two kinds of people, and this is what I was sharing with the people that I coached on Monday. There's really two kinds of people, and there's a line in between. And we'll get to kind of how I would classify them, and you can figure out which one you are here in a minute. But I don't just think about who's going to read the book. I think about how they're going to use the book. And this starts getting into the differences in the kind of people. And the book, I know you obviously haven't seen the book yet, but basically, it's got an introductory part about why the book is necessary. It's got what I called a technical set, kind of like here's some lessons that I want to, so we can dial your mindset in so you can actually get the most value out of the book. And then we go into, and here's my methodology, and here's the formula, and why I believe this to be true. And then let's help you fill in the formula with 15 lessons. These are like really good deep dive lessons on skill sets that I think will make you successful, kind of like a career self-help book or your career syllabus, so to speak. And then there's a planning section where you can go in and take an assessment, build a plan, and then operate it to actually develop your career. And so I think about, what are people going to do as they go through the book? So as I'm writing, I'm trying to envision, I literally try to put my hat on that it's you. And so I know there's going to be people who pick it up, read the first few pages, put it down, say, Andy, you're a nice guy, but this isn't for me. I'm not going to put the time in. No problem. There's some people that are going to read that technical set. They're going to read those lessons, and they're going to fizzle out, just like a lot of people fizzle out on books. I don't take it personally, but I know they'll get some value if they read that. And then there's the other people who are going to continue on. They're going to read the methodology, say, all right, I'm buying this. Let me get into the lessons. They'll read the lessons. Maybe that's all they'll do, but they'll get something out of it, and that'll be that, and I'll be happy. And then there's the person who's going to go a step further and put the plan together. I'll be really happy, but they'll put the plan together, but they won't use it, right? That law of diminishing intent kicks in, where you're excited to do something, but then you don't follow through because as time goes on, the intention wanes. But there's one person left in 100 that'll put that plan together and then use it to operate their life, their professional growth. And what's going to separate that person is not their skill set, but there is a level of what I call necessity that person, for themselves, it's important that they succeed to the level that they can. And for the people that they build the product, provide the service, or whatever it is, the value that they're contributing to the world, it matters. There's a level of necessity that drives them, not just personal ambition, but really the service element. And when I think about that person, there's a different characteristic related to that person. And when I think about what separates that kind of person from the other 99 people, and it has nothing to do with my particular book as much as it does whatever your profession is. And when you think about the difference, is my opinion, but my opinion is based on observation of talking to tens of thousands of people in the recruitment profession, in the employment profession, in the career development profession, coaching profession, and all the people that I've met with. It's my opinion that people spend their entire careers in jobs well below their talent level. And there are reasons for this. And the first thing I want you to do is pause and ask yourself, is what you're doing, are you truly getting the most out of who you are? Are you drawing on your best self and really going for what you want and what you think you're capable of, or are you settling? It's an observation, and I think there's a huge difference, because a lot of us, the difference in the two people, the set of standards that you set for yourself as far as how you're going to go through your profession, how you're going to go through your entire life. There's a line between the people where there are a lot of ought tos, shoulds, I even coulds, but I'm not, I haven't. for whatever reason, fear of failure, don't want to put the effort in, don't want to make the sacrifices, but you know you're not operating or maxing out your God-given talent and your abilities or the things you can hone. And then there's the people on the other side, that 1 in 100 person who says, no, it's must, I must. There is a different level of expectation of themselves, and not just themselves, but the people they surround themselves with, including companies, which I'm going to get to here in a minute, about how you think about companies you join. But think about for yourself, am I going to max out my abilities because what I do is necessary? I remind myself every day, I hope you do this or find a way to do this for yourself. I show up every week because it's necessary. I send you a newsletter every Tuesday and Thursday because it's necessary to me that you need my help. Now, you can take my help or not take my help, but I know there are people that are out there who embrace this and want my help, and I believe that what I'm doing matters. It doesn't matter how many people read the email. It doesn't matter how many people come to the live shows. It doesn't matter how many people watch the videos or buy the programs. There's a level of necessity that I have to do what I can do to make what I deliver the best it can possibly be. It's necessary. There is no, I should do this, I should do that, I ought to do this, I ought to do that. I will, I must. Right? And that's kind of the first clue. Are you on the side of there's a necessity that drives you? And that's a very, very hard place to get to. Because of all the demands that we place on ourselves and all the things that come at us and the cynicism that a lot of us tend to gain with a head of steam as we go through life. So the first thing, that I would think about is, what side of the line am I on? Am I on the ought to side, or am I on the no, it's necessary, I will do whatever it takes? That person who thinks that long-term failure is not an option. Because, and I say long-term failure because short-term failures are requirements in order for you to grow. And a lot of people that I encounter, they're stifled because the fear of failure is so present. And I wish I could lobotomize them to show them that you're mistaking feedback for failure. And that failure is necessary. You need to design a life to fail over and over. We are professional failures, one after another. The more we do it, the better we'll get, if it's interpreted properly and if it's designed properly. But I see a lot of people who are unwilling to get to the other side because they're afraid of that, or for whatever reasons. But the first thing that I wanted to say is that I want you to think about that. And there is a huge difference. And if you need a scoot in order to get to the other side of the I wills and it's necessary, the one thing that you absolutely need to do, you know how the idiom goes, right? If you want to be able to survive on the island, the first thing that you need to do is what? You got to burn the boat. Whatever that boat is for you. But a lot of people, they might get off the boat and they might start walking in, but they know the boat's there. Or they got 1 foot in the boat, 1 foot out of the boat. And so I want to give you this analogy about what I mean and how close you can be. So one of the women I was coaching on Monday, her name was Karen. Her name is Karen, I should say. And she had emailed me a week ago and said she was interviewing with this company that was recently acquired by another company. This company is local. Actually, she happens to be in the Chicagoland area, and where I am. And so she said, I went through the entire process, and I'm down to the end, and the CEO wants to meet with me to discuss compensation and basically wants to know how much I want in the way of salary. And so I said to her, okay, great. We'll have the coaching session. We did this Monday. And I said, do me a favor, just give me a bullet point encapsulation of kind of what's happened so far. You'll get to, tell me live, but just let me start thinking about this. What happened? Give me the job description, give me your resume, and let me know kind of who you met with. So she sends me the stuff, and I tell her, okay, I'm looking at this job description. I can see from her resume she's a relatively senior person, and this marketing content specialist position that she was interviewing for on the salary said 70 to 90,000. And she's going to go in and talk to the CEO, and she's explaining to me how she talked to the recruiter and this and that. And then she went through the interview process, and all of a sudden, there was some news that they might go up to 120,000. She wanted my counsel on how do you approach this. I said, okay, I looked at the job description. I said, all right, what I need you to do before I meet with you on Monday, there's some information in your coaching program. I need you to go through this. Basically, I need you to make a list of all of the things that are necessary, the activities and the objectives and the deliverables for you to take this company from here to here. What's necessary? Like what actually needs to be done? And in alignment with your capabilities, like what can you do for them? I'm able to. And this is what I think you need. This is why I think you need it. Here's what it's going to do for you. And here's how much the value you're going to realize. More leads and easier, lower cost leads and better conversions and all these other things that she listed out. So she does this and she sends it to me. It was awesome. I wanted to frame the dang thing. It was so beautiful. And so we started to talk. And she said to me, okay, well, you know, I obviously I'm more than qualified to do what they were asking. And I said to her, okay, and she said, well, the CEO, he's kind of stodgy. He's real old school. He's telling me he doesn't negotiate. He's just telling me he wants my number, and I'm not sure what to do. And obviously she didn't want to leave money on the table, but she wants to make sure she can kind of show she knows what she's worth. So I said to her, okay, this is great. So one of a couple things is going to happen. And when you go in here, before I tell you what I think is going to happen, I want you to tell me, do you want to take this job? Meaning, no matter what he agrees to, you're going to take this job. She says, I want this job. I need this job. Meaning I need it because I'm not making money and I need income. And I said, oh, okay, all right, I understand. Let's talk through this. One of a couple things is going to happen. You're going to go and you're going to sit down with him. And he's going to say, Karen, I don't want to see any of this. I just want you to tell me what you want. I asked you to come with a number. And that's one thing he could say. And in the wake of that, your rebuttal should be, I can only give you a number if we agree on what I'm going to ultimately do and the value it's going to contribute. I can't give you a number, right? Because then there's no way for me to justify it. I can't assemble it because if you want me to do some low-level stuff and you don't agree to this, then I'm not the person for you. You could pay somebody a fraction of my rate and hire them to do what it is that you think they should do. So that's one option. He might just not sit for it. Second option is he might listen to you and just say, hey, this is great, but this is all I want you to do. This is really all I care about. That's another option. The third option is, hey, this is great. I believe you. This is everything I want. I totally support this. I agree with you. This is necessary. What's your number? That's okay too. And I said, when you get in there, answer this question for me. If he says, no, just give me a number, what are you going to say? Can you walk away? And she said, yes. And I was so proud to hear that because what that meant was she was not going to settle for what was less because this company, because I said to her, if you take some compensation, whether it's everything you want, it doesn't even matter. If he gives you exactly what you want, you're going to be operating day in and day out with a company that doesn't believe or tap into your ability to help them get to where they actually can be because it doesn't matter to them. They don't care that much. And if you want to operate in an environment like that, you are setting yourself up for a life of frustration, at least as it lasts in that company. Because a lot of you do that you join organizations or you're not investigating how willing the company is and what lengths they'll go to attain what they want, whether that's first in the market or a certain level of growth. And then it's in turn with you and your abilities to help you max out your professional growth. And so I want you to think about, are you maxing out what you can do? Are you presenting that? Are you surrounding yourself with the right people? And are you joining the right companies? Are the companies that you're in right now, are they supporting your growth at that level? Are you doing what is necessary to support the growth they can attain based on the skills you do have? And I will tell you, I was thinking long and hard about this as I was looking at some of the people I coached over the last couple of weeks, and Karen in particular, and I assure you this is true. You are all one skill away from doubling your pay. one skill away from doubling your pay. The difference between the 70 to 90,000 makeup, the job description that they had, and what she could do as somebody who earns twice that amount of money is she said it isn't just about putting some PowerPoints together, making some presentations, or putting social media messages out there. It's having a strategy that taps into how you actually will gather those leads, get your market awareness up, gather those leads, take those leads and turn them into prospects that convert them more cheaply and at a higher rate. The person who understands that strategy gets paid twice as much money as the person who understands how to use the social media platforms to post the messages, can even write the messages, right? So who's tracking with messages? There's one skill, one, just on your board, on your trajectory, whatever it is on your list, that will double your pay. And I'm not saying you're going to learn that skill overnight. It might take a few years, but you got a few years, right? You got the time. The time's going to pass anyway. So you may as well put the time in. So are you the kind of person that is going to mistake feedback for failure? Are you the kind of person that's going to do whatever it takes to max out your abilities? Are you going to look for the ways to put in the time, to grow the skills, to get the most out of you? This book I'm writing, it's really hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. It isn't writing itself that's hard. It's the content itself and bringing a methodology out of thin air so that lots of people can use it, where I've done my best to universally test it, to provide you the lessons that I think will transcend your white-collar profession. There's something like this for you that's going to draw out your best abilities. I want you to find it, and I want you to put the time in to do it. And I don't want you to settle. And most importantly, I want you to burn the boat. Okay, so give me a burn the boat in the chat before I sign off on this and we get into the Q&A. But I hope you enjoyed that little pep talk. I hope you burn the boat. I hope you work the skill that's going to double your salary, and just put the time in. It's worth it. All right, if you enjoyed this, click the like button. Make sure you subscribed. Share this with your friends. If you're here with me live, we're going to the chat. If you're watching this on the recording, I'll see you next week. All right. Give me a burn the boat in the chat. Come on. Cut the cord. All right, Kara, is this thing on? Still got some folks here listening to me? Purple today. Yeah, I ordered some more colors because I only had 3. So I ordered 3 or 4 more. All right, let's see what we got here. Kara, can I head into the chat? Everything good? Everything looks green? All right, Adam Stark. Is it worth putting the short reason for your career change in your boss hunting message or CV? Can you also put your career headline in there as well? Okay. So a couple things. Let's clarify. This is a great question. For those of you making simple changes, so this is not what Adam asked me, but I want to make sure that there's a lot of you I know that are just, I'm an accountant, I want to be an accountant at a different company. You do not need to ever, as in ever, never, put in your rationale for switching companies. You do not need to put in your rationale for why you were let go, fired, or left. It makes no difference if you're just making a simple change. I don't care if you've been out of work for a year. If you've been out of work for a year just because you've been looking, don't say anything. If you've been out of work a year because you've been taking care of an elderly parent, that's something you could put in your resume. That's what you've been doing. Okay, now, if you're making a career change, so I'm switching from, Adam, I'm trying to remember, like film production to event planning or vice versa or something like that. If you're making a career change and you would like to clarify, there are some situations where that might be the case. I am making a career change to expand my whatever you might want to say, or to follow my interests in whatever. I want to convert my hobby into a profession. I'm okay with some level of communication. Now, I would prefer no level of communication regarding that, but if you want to, I will say to you, there are many, many ways to accomplish your goal, and in some situations, and depending on who you're sending it to or how it's getting routed to that person. So if I call my friend and I'm making a career change, and my friend knows a hiring manager at a company, there would be a way I would likely say, hey, and so-and-so speaks fondly of you, thought you'd be a great person to reach out to. I'm making a change from here to here, and she thought you'd be a great person to connect with. And so there's different ways I would pluck out my rationale and how I would package it. So you asked me a yes or no question, or is it worth it? It depends on who your target is, and it depends on how big the change is. Right? If you're going a wholesale change. Now, perhaps you're making a career change, but you just you got a bachelor's degree in the new area, or you got a hefty certification in the new area, or you did some kind of trade schooling. You might want to mention that I'm making a change and recently completed my, those are okay too. So I don't love putting it in the CV or the resume, unless it is to your advantage. Meaning, if I was making a change like this last example I just gave you, where I went to school, I was a loan officer, but I went to paralegal school and I'm now making a change. It would say career profile. I'd have my education below it, and I wouldn't put the education on the bottom because the education at the top is a selling point for me that I was recently educated on the career I want to go into. So there are a lot of combinations of things that you would do or not do depending on what the change is and where you're starting the change from. So those are some great questions, and your elevator pitch, you could use it. I wouldn't be cheeky with it, but you could include it if it's applicable. That is a great question. Kara is telling me there were questions before Adam. Dang. I see. So I don't know. Those are coming right after Adam's in my chat. All right, so wait. So I think I'm getting these. Mohit, what's up, buddy? Thanks for being a mainstay this last month and joining the leadership program. Also was there did I miss anything before that? Hopefully not. Have an in-person interview tomorrow. Good luck. Any tips for friending the interviewer? Couldn't find much about him on LinkedIn. Got a few notes on the company from Glassdoor. We do share some background. Then mention it if you'd like. Say, hey, I noticed you've been at the company for insert however long here. If it's a long time, say, I've seen you've been here a long time. I'm looking forward to talking to you because I want to know what's kept you here. Hey, I seen you've been at the company a few months. I was interested in talking to you because I want to know what drew you here. Right? You can, hey, and I also noticed that. Insert what common background here. Those are your tips. Go get them. And speaking of leadership, next week, okay, quick announcement. I always like doing these on the bottom of the hour. Quick announcement. Next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Next Tuesday, I'm releasing a video on it's a little hiring video, about 5-6 minutes, and then I'm going to have kind of a value add email on some delegation concepts on Wednesday. On Thursday, we have a special live office hours where I'm going to be teaching hiring best practices. I know a lot of you are job searching, but I know two things. A lot of you job searchers are also hirers. I think you'll really enjoy this. And the second thing is, even if you're not in a hiring capacity right now or have never been, these hiring concepts are going to tell you so much about how you need to think as a job seeker or a job candidate when you're being recruited or interviewed by a company. And if they're on the ball, you'll be able to notice this and what to do from your vantage point into how to score better. That's Thursday. That session is 70 minutes of nothing but teaching, hiring practices and well, it's behind that book, my hiring prophecies methodology. It's going to be gold. It's a limited edition. It's only going to be up for a day. So make sure you're with me on Thursday or catch the replay before Friday at lunchtime, because Friday at lunchtime, I have a leadership coaching session with members of my leadership group, and I am taking a deep dive on delegation. And delegation is not, I need to hire somebody who can carry my briefcase. It is a complicated activity that is more art than science. And I'm going to show you how to break it down, how to view it. What are some of the personal hurdles managers encounter when they try to delegate, how to overcome those, how to communicate the delegations. Also, the questions that you as a manager or even as a staff member should be asking yourself to make sure that you're getting it right. There are 18 different questions that I've included in the lesson about how to think through a half a dozen or so areas when you're actually delegating. It is a very complicated thing to get right. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with the leadership group on Friday. If you're interested in joining the program, maybe Kara, can you drop the leadership link in the in the chat? All right, Shelly, what do we got here, Shelly? Interview tomorrow. Awesome. Worried that my salary is high with 25 years of experience. So I would not. I'm not to be funny or flip about it. That Karen in the package that I talked about, salary said 70 to 90. She probably makes twice that, I'm guessing. Went in, totally changed the paradigm, showed them what she was worth. They recognized her value in the interviewing process. Now she's having a sit down, or had a sit down yesterday or day before. I actually probably should check in with her today. Maybe she's here to see how it went. But I would not. It is not your job to, no pun intended, it's not your job to lower your rate to fit into somebody's pay scale. It is your job to show and market yourself best and show the value you're going to contribute. Employers will pay more if they're getting more. Most people want to live in the world that's given to them. I want you to go in and show them how their world can change, right? Just because you think you need this doesn't mean you're not better off with this. And for this much more money, I'm going to give you that much more value. And so I don't think you're in my boot camp. But for those of you that are in the boot camp, I take you through exactly what deliverable to bring in to the session with you if you're negotiating for this. But if you're going into the interview where Shelly is at that stage, it's about being open. Hey, I'm open to joining a great company. Who I join is more important than what I do. It is. And because I know that if I join the right company, I'll have great opportunities. I want to make sure I'm in a position where I could add the most value. I'm sure that if we're right for each other, we'll figure that out. But let's get to it and get to know each other and get in there. So that's what I would do. I have a bunch of videos on this on the YouTube channel. And if you're in the premium program, I have it in there in spades. Gowrie, hey, how are you? Hopefully that's how you pronounce your name. If it's not, please let me know. All right. Jason, what's up? My boot camper, Adam, Jason, here we go. What do you think? Hang on, let me just make sure I'm not missing anybody else. Okay. What do you think about making summary as 3 to 4 bullets and 2 to 3 versus 2 to 3 paragraphs and 3 to 4 lines? Well, not to be funny, if I would have preferred that, that's the way I would have optimized the template for you. I think your profile should read like an executive summary. Psychologically, I think it flies better. I think it's more executive level. I think it's also, it looks better. So I would go with the way I outlined it for you. By the way, there's many ways to skin the cat. If you're asking me that question because you think the bullets are a good idea, what I would say to you is switch it to the way you want it, send it out and see what happens. You can always change it. Well, you're in a marketing effort, right? And marketing is testing, so see what works. All right, Mohit, this is a great question. Is it okay to apply for 2 different internal openings simultaneously? Both would help me gain skills, different but in line for my long-term goal. How I reach out to the hiring manager for attention. Okay. All right, so wait, this is really, really interesting, because what you're asking, break these up. Is it okay to apply to different internal openings? Okay, in isolation, there's a response to that. And then you went on to say, and both would help me gain skills. One is an etiquette thing. The other is professionally, where am I going, right? What are my goals and aspirations? So if your intention is to apply for something because you think it's going to accelerate your growth, make sure you're accelerating your growth in the direction in which you want it accelerated, right? I am the kind of person, and I hope you are, or you can get to this spot. I only think about what I want to make happen, and then I think about how do I make that happen. I don't think about like throwing, darts at a dartboard, hoping one of them hits. Okay, what is it I want, and what do I need to do to get there? And I concentrate all my thinking, all my energy, all my manifesting, and all my whatevers, the people I talk to, the effort, how I eat it, how I sleep it, how I think about it all the time. I just think about what I want to happen, as opposed to what I'm afraid is going to happen, because then what you think about grows, right? If you think you don't have enough money, guess what? You won't have enough money. If you think, how do I make that money? How do I have plenty of money, I'm just going to make more, that'll happen, kind of thing. So when you look at, do I apply for both openings? Well, I would probably do it serially. However, if this is a situation where you're in a very large company and that hand doesn't know what that hand is doing, and you're basically just trying to get into an opportunity to grow in a different unit because your unit is basically stacked and you're up against the ceiling, I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me. I probably, if I was going internally, would make sure my boss was aware that I was applying. You're going to burn a bridge if you surprise your boss and by leaving, hey, or if he or she finds out through the grapevine that you're interviewing. And then would I contact the hiring manager? Sure, why not? Hey, I'm in such and such a division. I'm in so and so's unit. I'm looking for opportunities. Boom, boom. I know you're the boss, and I wanted to reach out to express my interest. I've applied internally, and I wanted to send you a message with my resume. That's all. It's something like that. You could do that. This is about designing your career and then figuring out the way to make that happen. That may be internal movement, which would be preferred. It could be external movement, which is another option. Dana, how are you? Gisela, thank you for the big pink waving hand, which I see that says : hand - pink - waving : Gisela here. Steve Green, how you doing? Hope you enjoyed the draft last week. I enjoyed it. Word Dog, what's up? After waiting 3+ weeks for a promised job, I'm starting to think the boss has cognitive challenges. How to exit gracefully. I don't even know that you need to do anything. That's as graceful as it gets. Because if you're waiting 3+ weeks for a promised job, if it's like, I don't know if this is your boss or if it's another boss in the company or if it's a boss inside a company you're trying to get into. I'm assuming it's a boss that's external, in which case I wouldn't do anything. There's no reason to exit. Cecile, what's up from the Philippines? Hey, Kara, how you doing? Baby girl, what's up? Jamie F., how are you? Trish Berry, what's up? Pep Talk, yes, I hope you enjoyed that. Julie Perez Ali, hey, from San Francisco. How to address a diversity question as a white heterosexual male. Asking for husband. I was wondering about that there. Asking for husband, has interviewing come up at a very at a very diverse institution. So I answer it this way. I would say I would talk forward, meaning I would talk about why I think diversity is so important, and hopefully he or any of you have experiences where you can talk about diversity in its different forms. So, my experience as a consultant managing large teams, I believe diversity is hugely important because whenever I had diverse teams, men, women, minorities, or people from different countries or different upbringings or different whatevers, we always had the best and most creative ideas. We seem to get the best results because there was right. And then when you're looking for these people, they need to respect each other so that the collaboration and the so on and so forth. And then you want to give examples. So I'm a big proponent of this based on what I've seen. And I try to propagate this wherever I go. I would go through the list of those kinds of things. Like the whole thing about if somebody says, well, what does diversity mean to you? Then you could give them your definition, which would be a repackaging of some of the things that I said. And by the way, this is such a great question because I don't know if y'all know this, but statistically speaking, like right now, so wherever you're watching this, we're doing this in 2023 in May. Right now, if the last month's stats or this year's stats are accurate, like ESG and diversity and other positions of that nature are the fastest growing, meaning the most hires, most sought, because all companies are trying to promote this and design this. I must have coached no less than a half a dozen people interviewing for diversity leadership positions in the last 3 months. Like they were specifically going for these positions. And we were talking about how do you put these programs together, what goes in it, which areas are addressed. This is a hot topic, and it doesn't even matter if you are gonna be like the leaders like these people. And it was like building teams. One guy was putting the learning programs together. One guy was putting the training programs together for the managers to make sure that they were being diverse and promoting diversity and making sure that they understood all the best practices and those kind of things. So even if you're going into an organization and you're the ops person or the salesperson or the accountant or whatever, you still need to understand this stuff. So it's just an absolutely great question. And remember, this is very topical right now because there's a huge trend and a push to do and hire for these positions. So I just think that's such a great question, and that everybody needs to be mindful of that. And I would really look at what areas are covered, how to cover them. And if I'm a job seeker of any level right now, one recommendation that I would give you is make a list of all of the areas that you consider that would make up diversity. Google it, Chat GPT it, or Bard it, or whatever, and then form your own philosophy. Make it your own so that you don't sound like you're reading a script, but make it your own. Like, what do you, and here's the 7 or 8 things I think we need to pull together as it relates to diversity. And here's what I think about each one of these and how I try to integrate that into my everyday activities or my hiring of people or my evaluation of recruits or so on and so forth. And the things that I try to promote and lead by example. And you could go through all those. That's a dang good one. Julie, great one. Hopefully, lots of luck to your husband. Ryan, what's up? Nico, Artie, what's up? I hope the pep talk helped. I mean, like, I always try to think of different ways of sharing messages with y'all. And sometimes, different things click for different people. Jonathan, how are you? You from Indianapolis. What's up? Nico's, you're a boot camper. All right, nice. Gail, hey, from Calgary. Carmelo, what's up? I'm guessing the weather's pretty good where you are. Gary, Hidalgo, what's happening? Botswana. Hello, Mrs. Pam. Sai, or is that Cece from Austria? You could knock me over with a feather. I just am so tickled pink with just the level of diversity and the global nature of my community. And I just thank all of you for being a part of it. Really, I don't care if you're down the block or on the other side of the world or in Perth, Australia, which is like the farthest place on the planet from me. Hey, speaking of Perth, Australia, hey, Kara, can you do me a favor? I know I didn't tell you this, so hopefully you're paying attention. Kara, can you drop, speaking of hiring next week, I've got, you know what, wait here. The hiring prophecies, I signed a bunch of these like last year, and we gave a link to get this book to people in my leadership group, and many of them have grabbed them. I've signed them. I will give you this $33.95 book, the ebook, which I think is $11.99 or like $8.99, $9.99, something like that on Amazon, and the audiobook, which you can't get anywhere. If you chip in a few bucks for this book, I'll send it to you in Perth, Australia, or anywhere in between, my house and your house. And so through next week, I'm going to be offering this, or basically till supplies run out. I don't know how many we actually care. I have no idea how many we have left. But can you? I think we're charging $11.95. But it's signed. It's signed. I mean, I literally sat at my table over there and signed all these, then packed them and drove them to the warehouse where the people then pick them, put them in envelopes, and send them to you. So, Kara, can we put this in and just let them know that they can grab this. Okay. Larry Pearl, Scott Duffy, what's up? Miriam, Dana, how are you? Gisela, I want to provide sales figures because they are significant, but I'm hesitant to reveal the names of my customers due to past negative experiences. Gisela, put the numbers in. Don't mention the customers specifically. You could say large manufacturing company, global service provider, global payment services provider, or whatever it might be. You could just put it in. You could put it in like that. John B. Hey, and Jennifer Campo, how you doing? Freder9, Patricia Friedman, Gail, Barkui, hey to you. Tracy, where you been? How's the job going? Please tell me you're just showing up because you just missed me and you just wanted to say hey. Gisela, don't worry. Don't give them the names. Been watching your videos. Hey, Freder9, great to hear. Gisela, just give a generic name to the clients. Secret Salt Shake. Awesome. Ian, how are you? Thanks for being such a great supporter, Ian. And Rita. Baby girl, you got a question. Been given responsibility to do pre-screen calls of resumes for my manager. Never done this before. I usually on the other side, please offer advice how I can do my best to make good choice to forward to my manager. Cherry, if you don't have this, get this. I outline all the questions for you to ask. It's in here. And you know what? You're a leader, so I know you're going to have access to this. I probably even dropped the ebook, even if it was free, in your library. So you've got this. I would go through that. And I would make sure. And the other thing I would say to you is on Tuesday, this coming up Tuesday, this 6 minute video that I have coming out is going to help you with that too. But remember this. If you are screening and you are screening resumes and doing a screening call as a recruiter or a hiring official or a hire or whatever it is, or the leadoff person, remember this. People are hired for what they can do, but they're fired for who they are. You're better off evaluating the who they are part up front because you should remove them from your process based on who they are, not what they can do. Because even though they can do the job, if they're not the right fit for your company, you'll make a hiring mistake. You'll think you were successful, except it was an epic failure, except you don't realize that for 3 months. So, you take a bullet, you didn't know you should fall down and die. You got to get it right up front. And the way to do that is evaluating their cultural fit and evaluate do the mirror, right? You're evaluating your cultural fit, the traits, and all the other things that make your employees successful. You're looking at them and seeing what it is they're looking for to see if you have a union of that, if there's an intersection. And if there is, you continue on and you look at their capabilities, meaning, depending on what you're hiring for, you're looking at culture first, capability second, achievement record third, and skill set fourth, not first. So when you look at the first three, it's who they are and how they align to the way your company operates. The second thing is, if I'm hiring a salesperson, I'm more concerned with how they sell services or a product, not whether they've sold my product. And so I'm looking at the capabilities, human psychology, organizational skills, right? How they manage the process. Are they data driven? And those kinds of things. We can get to how you sell my product later. It's so secondary. It's not even tertiary. And then you look at track record of achievement. If their career has been progressing nicely and they've been making good decisions, there's nothing that would lead you to believe that this wouldn't be another good one, kind of thing. And then you can get to, okay, how do you sell this widget? Okay. And the screener shouldn't be, how do you sell this widget? Let the hiring officials, let the other people who have the domain expertise or the tech screeners, so to speak, evaluate that stuff. We're going deep next Thursday. We're going deep. This goes deep. Take it, take it, take it. Brian McNeil, how are you? Gail, what's up? Best strategy to relaunch after being out of my profession for a few years. I love it. Love this question. Okay. Launching strategy, or my launch strategy. I love this, Gail. I love this one. All right. I've been out of work. Let's say it's been a few years, 2 years to 10 years. Okay. 2 years to 10 years. This applies. First thing that I do, I decide, do I want to go back to what I was doing? Let's say you do, for simplicity and brevity and conciseness of my answer. I want to go back to what I'm doing. Great. Next strategy. Where have I worked before? Who's everybody that I know from where I worked before? Where are all those people now? Right? This is why you keep up your LinkedIn connections or get reconnected. Make your personal contact list. Okay? Companies like you worked at before, who are their competitors or other companies that were partners or whatever? Start building your company list. Number 3, right? Do I want to go? Yes, I want to go. Okay, great. Second, start looking at your companies, the people that work there, make a list of contacts, because to reignite your jump back into the workforce, you're going to contact the people you know first. I would contact them, even if it was nothing other than reconnecting and research. But you do want to have a company target list because you do want to make sure that you're doing some research related to that. The people that you know might be working at those companies. They might be working at the companies you were formerly at. As you do that and you start to get reconnected, the next thing that I would do, I would not boss hunt. Next thing that I would do, is there any gap? Number 4, is there any gap between what I knew when I left and what I need to know now? Well, I don't know. In April, it seemed like 1,200 different AI tools came out. Okay, I'm guessing that you want to get up to speed on everything that's a delta between what you did when you left and what people are doing now. Maybe there was a manual process, it's now being automated. Maybe they're using new tools. Maybe tool sets that you used to use have had major upgrades. So there's a gap that you want to make sure that you do homework. Number 4, homework, catch up and get up on current events. Okay? Then what I would do is I would start either, major networking. So then like all out assault on the company target list, the people you know, and bosses and recruiters and so on. If you've been out of work a year or two, it's a pretty easy slide back. But if you've been out of work 5 to 10 or something like that, you're going to want to make sure that you have a rationale. Hey, I was home taking care of the kids. I was taking care of my elderly parent. I was whatever. My husband or my wife had moved. We moved to a different country. I couldn't, I wasn't working. I was volunteering there because of whatever. We're now back. Whatever it is, it's okay to say. But that's how I would reignite my jump back into the workforce after being out a little while. 5, 6 steps right there. And then obviously you want to take all of Andy's interviewing tutelage and tips and interview intervention. This book, $7 anywhere in the world, right? And any of the interview videos on my interview playlist on my YouTube channel, or the Interview Intervention 10th Anniversary Program, or the Job Search Coaching Program. That's what I would do, Gail. Hope that helps. Hope that serves you. Love that question. Kara, that's a great one. We gotta clip that one. Video that thing for me. Does everybody know that we have upgraded Kara's resume to videographer and video maker using an AI tool that I've never seen, but that she does all the magic. I don't need to know how the sausage is made. I just need to see the pretty videos with the captions. You are welcome, Gail. Mishka, what's up? Reggie, how you doing? 70 and sunny today. I love it. Karen Braswell, you got to shoot me a message. Let me know what that guy said. Tracy, I've been slacking in incorporating Career Accelerator actions into your work days. How do you make the most of the Career Accelerator programs 3 months before your 1-year review at your job? Okay, hang tight, Trace. You as a leader, I know you got the leadership program because I gave it to you. First thing I would do is I would go into your leadership library. Actually, you know what? I don't know if let me see if I could do this really quickly. And Tracy, let me try to get you right there real fast. I think I can do it because you're you. And I really appreciate all the effort that you put into giving me that case study. That was so awesome. Let me see if I could do this real quickly. I think I got it, Tracy. I'm going to tell you exactly where to go. Okay, Trace, here you go, just for you. All right. Let me see, put that down there. All right, Tracy, this is in, first thing you want to do, Success and High Performance section in the Leadership Library. Go down to Performance Reviews here and Negotiating Your Pay Raise. Watch those two and make sure those are in order, okay? And then what I would do is I would also make sure that in the Career Accelerator that you're reviewing and making sure you're reflecting on the session that that actually talks about prepping for your promotion. It's the second module in the Career Accelerator program. So this is the main leadership library. That's the success section. And what I would also do, if you have time, the Mastering Your Craft, that particular session is going to talk about the things that you should be doing to actually develop your skill sets. Go back and look at what you improved on, and then what you also want to target for your next year. Because when you go into this promotion discussion, you want to be thinking not only about what you did, but going forward, what your plan is. And so go there, check those out. And then the other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you're watching inside the Career Accelerator. Actually, let me see if I can. I think I probably can pull up the Career Accelerator and show you which one of those areas I would go into too. Let me see if I can do this really fast. Here we go. Oop. And then Tracy, inside the Career Accelerator, in that one, I would go into this spot. I would look at I would look at the promotion attainment. So this second one here. And then I would also, you could look at the performance reviews. There's going to be some redundancy in the one that's in the main leadership library, but the one in the main leadership library is newer than the one in the Career Accelerator. And if you're wondering about these, assets, anybody, what I just showed you on the screen, anybody who's in any of my packages on my leadership curriculum would have access to all of this. So even if whether you're a monthly member or whether you are an annual member, you will have access to what I just showed Tracy. And so Tracy, lots of luck. Will you do me a favor and drop me a line and let me know what's up? Text me or email me and let me know how you're doing. Gowrie, thank you, Andy, for all the valuable resources you have put out there. I've used most of them, and I am more prepared for job search and interviews than I was a few months ago. I love it. I love it. Aylin, what's up? You know I love that picture. Hey to you. And Kara is telling me we have a question about what's the difference between the interview intervention course and the interview intervention 10th anniversary training. Okay, they are vastly different. The interview intervention course, the first one that I put together, I did in 2016, and it was very modeled after the interview intervention book with what I was teaching and the principles I was teaching at that time. This newer version was done in 2022, late in the year, in November, and it's broken down into 5 major sessions. I did this over a 5-day period with members of my job search coaching program. So you have, number one, you have much more information because I've learned a lot between 2016 and 2022. All the new teachings, all the new techniques are channeled into the newest version. The second thing about the newest version is it has role-playing and real-life interactions with people so you can hear how to turn a resume bullet into a story. You can see how somebody introduces themselves in an interview. You can see how to answer every single question. You can see all of that stuff, and it's done in an interactive. There's interactive sections that are in the interview intervention 10th anniversary library. There is also a extensive Q&A section for each of the 5 main modules in the interview intervention program. The original interview intervention tended to be 5 to 10 minute videos. There were a bunch of them. It was me direct to camera, and that was it. You had the tools and the templates. Now you have so much more because of all the things I've built in the last 7 years. So all that stuff is channeled into the interview intervention program. And I think I can probably, if I could also do this correctly, because this thing is super, super sweet. But this interview intervention 10th anniversary edition is, the way it breaks down, if you're interested in seeing this, is... there's a main session on getting you ready to succeed. There's extensive role playing and Q&A. That's the first one. The storytelling and how to answer every interview question, that's pretty exhaustive. There's Q&A. There's hot seats related to how you show employers your value. That's the second module. Acing any actual interview. So how do you actually go into an interview and break down what's expected based on whether you have the job description, whether you don't have the job description, how do you actually prepare for it, and everything related to that. There's obviously role plays there, and then there's the interviewing types, everything from anything you can imagine, the screen, the technical screen, the face-to-face, the panel, the Zooms, the one-way videos, the two-way videos, the executive interviews, career change interviews, every imaginable format of anything interview related is inside this program. And then there's also some other stuff about how to win the job after I go way deep into what to do after your interviews and interviewing process, how to think through your offers and all that. There are some bonus things in here about compensation, your first 90 days, what to do. This is really good. There's case studies and there's just a ton of stuff. This thing is $1,000 by itself. If you are only interested in this program and you don't want to join my job search coaching program, if you see Kara, she probably would give you a whole bunch of money off on this if you just wanted interview training. You probably can get like $500 off that pack if you want, because we do give it as a free bonus to members of my job search coaching program. So it's a very, very different layout. And for those of you who already have the old interview intervention course, if you are interested in getting that new layout, the new teaching, that's a lot of coaching in there. See Kara, and she'll give you an upgrade price. Hope that helps. That's great. I'm glad you guys are interested in some of these programs. We have not had a sale in a long time, so and we don't think we're going to that soon. So you just email support whenever you need to know something. Let's see. Question came up in the chat. Want to make sure you see it. Jonathan Sewell, got a good offer with a change in job description. I plan to ask for an additional $20K base regarding change and one less week of PTO than minimum desired. And one less, meaning you want more PTO. Base merit plus PTO equal total offer. Do you see holes in this logic? No, I do not see any holes. I want you, all of you get to create your own logic, because your logic is driven from your desire. Okay, follow me here. One person might value time off more than compensation. One person might value title more than, and everybody has their own drivers. So Jonathan, in your situation, number one, congrats, love it, boot camper. I love hearing the stories. I'm getting flooded this week with major job offer acceptances. 20K base, I love it. Jump up. I mean, ask for more money, ask for more bonus, ask for guaranteed minimum bonus, ask for more PTO, ask for the whole kitchen sink if you want, or if you the more you ask for, the more you're likely to get. Don't like go backwards in your logic. Don't think, well, I only want to ask for this, so I probably get it. No, ask for this, so you get this, right? Or maybe you get everything. We had one boot camper. He and I have been going through our coaching sessions. He ends up getting an offer. I doubt he's here today. He gets an offer. He talks to his wife. His wife said, and he said to his wife, Andy says, I need to ask for more. She's, are you crazy? This is everything you wanted and plenty of money, right? Everything you would have hoped for. He said, no. Andy said, I gotta go back and I gotta ask for more. He goes back and he asks for 17% more. And the CEO says to him, you know what? I don't even like that number. I'll just give you 20% more. You got an extra $70,000 in pay, right? This is 2 days ago. And then I called him on my way home from my swim because I was so dang excited and I wanted to, phone high five with him. And just don't make assumptions about what they have and what they don't have. You go back, you make your case. Right? Remember, your job is not to lower what you're earning or just accept what somebody wants to give you. You have to put the effort in to make the case, to show your value and show them what you're worth. Believe me, if you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe in yourself to that extent, they're not going to believe in you to that extent. So I love that, Jonathan. Go get them. Frank M., another boot camper, just signed an offer with a 40% pay increase. Okay, wait, these are in the chat, so I'm not lying to you. One of the questions that wowed them was asking about their top 3 goals for the next 3 years. Then I walked them through how I would help them achieve that. I love that. You make me so proud, Frank M. I love it. Can we give Jonathan, Frank, Alex, who I doubt is here, huge high 10s on their offers? And anybody else who's got offers this week, it's out. Companies are hiring. I almost wish you would stop watching the news or reading the papers or whatever it is that you do. The world is not falling apart. It isn't falling apart. Yes, some things are zagging while some things are zigging. There are loads of opportunities out there. There's 8 billion people in the world. They're hiring. They're hiring. Go get them. Gowrie, I asked what their concern about my capabilities in the role during a call yesterday. They said lack of experience in a specific area. Please give some advice to boost my confidence. All right, since we're thin on time and I want to get a few of these in, Gowrie, this book on page 58, question number 10, is your answer to exactly what I would say for a situation like that. You want to show them that, okay, while I don't yet have that experience, that's done. I do have experience in, so draw whatever analogies you can to any other packages, processes, functions, experience that you have that are applicable. And whenever I need to get up to speed on something, here's how I approach it, and then give them your plan. And so, and then I also have a video out there on my YouTube channel about how to get the job when you're not qualified. I would look at this, page 58, number 10, and that video if you want some more firepower on that. Jennifer Bennett, I think I'm in love with this question. How can we examine, then push ourselves to move forward toward our talent and potential? Okay. I'm going to just, I hope you don't mind, I'm going to use myself as an analogy because this is how I think about how you all pull me toward figuring out how to max out my talent and my potential. Okay. I sat down a long while ago and I thought about my why. And I and if you're in my boot camp, I kind of lay this out for you. It hasn't really changed much. And I talk about in my evolution in my career, I helped companies and I also helped people as a consultant. Then I became a recruiter because my why was dragging me toward focusing more on what I wanted to do, which was help people and help them secure better jobs, help them guide them in their careers, which is then evolved into a career coach. And what I think about is I want to make such a positive impact on many people and not just some people. So when I was a recruiter, if I was helping 25 to 50 people change jobs in a year, and that was great, that was still only 50 people or 25 people or somewhere in between, right? A person a week or a person every other week or whatever it might be. But I thought about what is it that I need to do to reach more people? I feel like my experience could benefit, all your experience could benefit people, all right? So believe me, the intersection between what you know and what somebody else knows is microscopic. You think it's a canyon, but it's this big, not this big. And so I said, okay, what skills is it going to take for me to reach 100 million people, 1 billion people? I want to be everybody's one-stop shop for everything career related. How can I do that? What are the steps I need to take? Well, the first thing that I need to do in order to reach more lives is help them with an acute problem. Job searching. If they don't have the right job or they don't enjoy their job or they don't have a job, that's a really bad problem. And I want to build relationships with them through what? Ongoing help, teaching, and so on. And then I looked at, well, what are all the mediums that I could deliver? The books, the blog, the videos, new books, and so on. And so what I started to look at was, why do I think I'm here? Like, I want to help these people. I genuinely believe that. I can help a lot of people. And so if I'm going to help a lot of people, I work backwards. What's that going to take? Well, if I want to help people, some people want to read it. Some people want to listen to it. Some people want to watch it, right? Some people want, right? Whatever it is. What are the mediums they want? I do not like talking through a camera. I would rather be sitting in the same room with you, right? But I'm not letting my discomfort with talking through a camera prevent me from accomplishing what I believe that you want and need, right? And why I was put on this earth. So I'm gonna have to learn that. Okay, well, I'll figure it out and I'll just keep practicing and I'll practice and practice and practice. And then I'll write. And wait, hang on a second. I have to have book writing skills, email copywriting skills, social media copywriting skills, and so on. What are all the skills I need to build? All right, well, some of them you're going to absolutely need to become an ace at, and some of them you're going to need to learn to a certain level, and others you need to know enough and then get help or whatever, meaning hire somebody or whatever it is. And so I think about, in order to make what I want happen, what does it take? And then that's the goal. And then what skills do I need to build in order to be able to do this? As a matter of fact, this is really great because this morning, I literally was writing this plan for you, meaning I was putting an example development plan to do exactly what Jennifer is asking this morning. I literally, this is the last part of the book that is, I'm like 100 or 200 words left about what it's going to take. And this is exactly what I mean. So the book that I opened up the package with today, this is exactly what it's about. How do you do this? And how do you figure that out? And then how do you work backwards? And then how do you measure and watch your progress? Because a lot of you are making progress, but you don't know you're making progress because you don't take the time to reflect and look and see how far you've come, because you only think about the gap and the hole, about what the delta is between where you are and where you think you should be. Instead of, wow, how far have I come? How much, what else can I be doing? And then enjoying that whole journey. This is complicated. This isn't easy. No, this is not natural to think through. This is why this book is so hard to write. So I love that question. And I hope all of you, I hope you get the book. I hope you join the leadership program. The book is the leadership program, and kind of what I showed really quickly for Tracy, and all those assets and videos, and there's booklets and training program and everything in there. The book is a book version of that, in as much as I could fit in the limited number of words that the publisher gave me that I had to basically fit the book into. And so, this is why I'm so pumped about this. So I hope that helps. That's a really great question. I love that you asked. Thank you for that. I hope that helped. Dan Buffington, thanks for the nice comments on my YouTube channel, brother. You are right about that. I know that many of the people around me are working way below their ability. Me too. I don't know how to make a move forward. You know what? A big part of it, not to oversimplify it, because it isn't simple. I would never insult you like that. It's literally about setting goals for yourself, and like that's your yardstick. Okay, then what's it going to take for me to get there? I know Mohit wants to be a CEO. I know somebody else wants to open their own business. I know somebody else wants to write a book, wants to write a screenplay, wants to do this or that. I love it. You're going to learn a ton of things while you work toward that deliverable. But whatever that deliverable is, or whatever that goal is, or whatever that promotion you want to attain is, you aren't going to get there just focusing on your day job and on the job training in the 9 to 5. Right? You're going to have to figure out what skill sets do I need, and how can I work and design a program for myself, which I've done for you in the book, on how to plan this out and work on the skills to attain that goal and enjoy the journey in the process. So I do hope you get there. But most of you have the ability to put the time in, and you have the ability to put the plan together, and I've given you the instructions. And if you're in the leadership program right now, you have the instructions. You have a version anyway. And then it's a matter of what's the missing ingredient for a lot of us. We don't put the time in. A lot of other short-term, urgent stuff gets in the way. Other priorities, right? You've all heard me, my daily line on time, right? The most often used excuse for somebody to tell you why they don't have something they don't want badly enough. So just think about that. Create that time for yourself. All right, folks, I got to get rolling. So real quick, $7 book package. This is $11.95, but they're signed. Send it anywhere in the world. Ebooks, audiobooks too. Tuesday, video on hiring. Wednesday, I think I got a nice email digest for you. Thursday, live show on hiring. Set your reminders. It's on the YouTube channel. Next Friday, leadership coaching on delegation. Oh, it's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a doozy. It really is. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, click the like button on YouTube, share it. Hopefully you're subscribed because you don't want to miss my Tuesday videos and Thursday lives, just because you know it hurts me when you miss it. Hey, if we're not connected on LinkedIn, let's get connected. Send me a first-degree connection request. I always love following you too. And I guess that's about it. I got to sign off. I got a busy afternoon and a busy weekend. I hope you all have a great one. I'll see you Tuesday in your inbox. Take care.